I'm sure we will, and we'll let them in as we go. So, well, welcome to everybody who's joining us today for our call. As all of you know, we do record the calls, so please don't let that stop you from asking questions or participating in any way. We always welcome everyone's participation. So today we have a nice lineup with the agenda here. We're going to share just a little bit of good news. I know that that's always important during this time because we do probably have a tendency to hear a little bit more about the things that are not going well. So we always like to start off with some good news. And then we'll get to our guest speaker. John will introduce Frank to everyone, and he'll share his insights and strategy on how he's rolling out Quillo. We'll talk a little bit about the push notifications that we're excited to launch here coming up shortly, and then talk a little bit more about self-care and wrap up with the next call. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And again, we welcome everybody who's across the nation. So very quickly, we'll just show you where we have people located across the United States here. So welcome to everybody who's with us today. So I'm going to kick off with just a story that I have around the good news, because we are at the start of the school for my daughter, who is starting an internship at a hospital setting. I know that we're many times hearing all of the things that haven't gone well, but I want to shout out to any teachers, administrators, individuals who have been part of those key decisions across the country to help open up schools and find ways to help our population that have intellectual developmental disabilities be able to get back to internships or job experiences, whatever that is. Because I know that for many of us as a parent, you're very anxious about what is or what was going to take place. So my shout out is to all those teachers and administrators who have gone above and beyond to really make the planning and the processes seamless as they worked through the COVID situation through the summer and helped parents understand, or guardians, whomever, how we're going to roll out. So for example, my daughter is doing an internship at a local hospital, and I just have to say the communication via email and then the opportunity to join a Zoom call around orientation where parents were allowed to give and ask questions was so critical and important to me. And they did a great job also of having a plan in place around, hey, what are we going to do to prevent COVID for those that are participating? So my daughter rides a city bus every day, and they have a protocol about, of course, wearing a mask, having hand sanitizer with them. They're going to get off the bus immediately. They're going to wash their hands. They've got the protocol set up throughout the day while they're at the hospital, and then even gave us instructions what we should do when they come home. So again, just a huge shout out in terms of their preparation and going above and beyond. So I don't know how many of you have had those type of positive interactions, but I just want to say, if you have, reach out, acknowledge those individuals, give them a huge thank you, because it's so important that we recognize all the positive and the good that's taking place, because they've put in many, many hours, and many times those efforts go, again, unacknowledged. So take the time to do that. I hope some of you are hearing the good news out there. At the end, if we have any time left, we'd love you to share your stories. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to John, and he's going to introduce our guest speaker today. So John, take it away.
Thanks, Sue. And yes, so much we focus on the challenges we have, but as Joanna was telling earlier, before she got a little bit earlier, about a case where staff stepped up, where one of their folks tested positive coming out of the hospital, and through everybody's good work, not only did that person get well, but there was no new cases that came out of that. So great reason to celebrate and thank everyone for what they're doing. Well, I'm very quickly going to introduce Frank Bartoli. And Frank and I met a while back. Um, Frank's a parent and has been in the field for a long time as an advocate. And several years ago decided that he wanted to create an agency in Northeast Pennsylvania that focused solely on inclusion. And probably if he knew everything he knows now, he'd probably go back and think over that question of deciding to start something brand new. But in truth, he's built an organization now that is serving people in several counties and focusing on how to do services in a totally inclusive way that hadn't been done in his part of the world before. Now, Frank's new to Quillo, and they're rolling it out with one very significant difference in that I'm going to let Frank explain to you how at NEPA Inclusive, they're tying participation in Quillo and what they're calling their NEPA Academy into what people will actually earn and rewarding them for that. So pleased to present you Frank Bartoli, and I know you'll enjoy hearing from him and getting to know him as part of the Quillo family here. So Frank, welcome.
Thanks, John. I guess I'll just take it through a bit of the thought of mine is, we're now serving a 7-county region in the Scranton to Philadelphia area. We're not in Philadelphia, but north of Philadelphia. And, I felt like we needed to have a mechanism to build a company culture for inclusion, for support to people with disabilities. And, it's hard to do that when you're in a multi-county area and when you're working out of people's homes and their job sites, because we do all of the non-licensed, inclusive type programs. So we came upon Quillo, and I thought, this will be a good opportunity to get our frontline staff, the most important staff that we have in the company, to learn more about the people that we support, and not from, me as an example, or from our training director, but from a different source. So we jumped onto Quillo, and, we're pretty excited about it.
Great.
Go ahead, John.
No, I was just thinking the concept then that you began looking at as the academy in the next slide that.
Yep. So the idea was, if we're going to ask our staff to participate in staff training, then, I kind of felt like we should offer them an incentive to participate in that. And as I thought about it, I thought, they use technology every day. They have their own cell phones. They Snapchat and play video games and Facebook and do all the, Venmo now and PayPal and all that stuff. So it's very normal and common for people in America now to be using their own cell phones, using current technology. And how could that type of technology kind of advance our mission and our values and our interests in developing them? Is it an inexpensive process because we don't have a lot of money? We're a small company still. Make it self-directed. If they feel like they have a reason that they want to do it, and we give them some extra money to do it, maybe they'll just see then over time that they like it, and it's a trial and error type of a thing. We could upload videos of our own, which we haven't done yet, and it would just build culture in the company. So next slide, I guess. And so the idea was, why don't we make this part of our training program and say to them, if you are with the company for 6 months, watch 10 hours of Quillo videos, and your supervisor gives you a recommendation for advancement, we would give you a 50-cent raise, and we would change your title from direct support professional to advanced direct support professional, giving people an opportunity to say, boy, if I participate in this, they're just going to give me extra money in my pay raise. They're going to give me a different title. I'm going to get the recognition that I'm an advanced direct support professional, and maybe we can also use that as a feeding ground to then say, okay, who would then move up from even that level and do additional stuff. So that's how we've kind of rolled it out to our staff.
What has been the reaction from staff so far, Frank?
It's been slow, quite honestly, but I think it's because we've had some management turnover, and we're so busy doing so many different things every day that we really weren't focusing on Quillo, but we've refocused on it about 3 weeks ago, and I got a report just today in preparation of this, and the response in the last 3 weeks over with the new supervisor that's been pushing this and talking to people, and we've been talking about it at every one of our staff management meetings, sending notices. It's been really good. And we actually just had our first person that qualified with watching the 10 hours, has been with us for 6 months, and we just made our first promotion to that person. And of course, now we're going to send that information out to our staff, making a big announcement. And we expect that this is going to just kind of continue to germinate through the ranks now. So we're pretty excited about it, and I think it's been a positive experience.
Great. Well, this is the first time in our Quillo Nation that anybody has tied directly participation to raising the pay for people that are doing that. And one of the things we're talking with Frank about also is doing some surveys of staff also to gather greater data on participation. What are they learning? How are they feeling about it? And the impact it's having on us, what they're doing. So great. Any questions for Frank on both how we got there and this thinking about tying it in and the academy of what anybody would like to ask anything from it? Well, great. Well, Frank, it's exciting to see that somebody's already crossed that 10-hour threshold since we're early on into the process with you. And thanks so much for squeezing us into a very busy day. So thank you.
Okay, so I guess something else that came to mind that I would just throw out there is one of the things that I found in the disability world. I came from the advocacy world like you, John, and then I came from the YMCA world, and we were very conditioned in those other nonprofits to promote, develop programs, a lot of training. You know, we would do lots of trainings for people in the community and things. It seems like the disability provider world tends to think they don't understand. That's like a foreign concept to them, and I think they're so conditioned to just kind of do what they're told by their company, and you know, they're not really asked to kind of go outside the box and to be creative. You know, to us, I think it's been a bit of a culture change to get that group of people to understand that we want to see that. And that kind of falls in line with the mission of, you know, inclusion and independence, and, you know, sprinkling people around in their own homes as opposed to segregated group settings. So, you know, if there's companies out there that want to do this, you know, you really have to put a lot of energy behind launching it, staying on target, reinforcing it, pushing it, making sure your management and your company understands what the outcome is going to be. Because it seems to me to be a foreign concept to the disability world versus the advocacy world. That would just be an insight that I guess I would throw out there.
Great. Well, we find that champions are really important with any innovation. It's the champions that begin spreading that word and spreading the interest as we go. So thanks so much, Frank. Again, we'll look forward to getting more reports on how it's going and how many people then cross that threshold and stay in that frame of usage. And of course, one of the great things on the dashboard is you can capture that real easy from everybody of how they're doing. So great.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Frank.
Sorry about the background noise, but
No, well, thanks for fitting us in the midst of all the activity there. So excellent.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you
All
later.
right, thank you. Take care.
Great. Well, any other reactions from anybody as you look at this? We'll be glad to introduce you to Frank, and we'll keep watching. And they have seen a big uptick now as they started getting folks talking about this with individuals. And the more they do this, and of course, one of the things that he shared with me is that they feel the more people feel connected, the longer they'll stay. And it's also pushing their managers to communicate in a whole different way with folks along the way. So great. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to switch it over to Rebecca, we're excited to tell you that we're launching our push notifications.
Yes. So thank you so much, John, and hi everybody. Good to see you on this August Thursday. If I'd planned ahead, I would have grabbed a drum for a drum roll or a trumpet to like blare the announcement or something, but we are really excited to be rolling out push notifications. This has been close to a year in the making in terms of when we first, started hearing from folks about, gosh, we wish we could, have just an easy push to head straight to the app. And, thanks to that feedback and working with our developers, we're excited that it is happening. So we've been testing the notifications over the last couple of weeks and months to make sure that it rolls out smoothly. And starting this Saturday, the 22nd, we thought we'd give it a soft rollout over a weekend. You will no longer receive those emails and text messages, and it'll be the push notification. So you should have received your Quillo Minute yesterday that details this a little bit more and has some other resources for videos and how to do it. But we'll just jump in real quickly. This is also, this video is available on the app as well. It's set up in a way that it should be one of the first ones people see when they log into the app. So if they're, confused about where their text messages went or curious about what that new little blurb is, this will give them the heads up. So here is a sneak peek of that video for you now. Just a moment.
Quillo has a new app feature, introducing push notifications, a user-friendly way to remind you to check out the Daily Focus video. Let's check out how the push notification works. Swipe down and click the notification. As a Daily Focus, it will take you straight to the featured video for that day. Hit play to enjoy your 60-second message. When you're all done, return to the home page to check out other videos in the Quillo library. Arriving around 12 p.m. Eastern, push notifications can show up in a few different ways. Depending on your phone's settings, it may show up as a tiny Quillo logo on the lock screen, or with a little more info if you slide down on the notification. It might also be a number next to your Quillo app, or the Q logo on your notification bar at the top. In any case, the push notification will replace the text or email messages in most cases. We hope this feature is a helpful addition as you explore the Quillo library. If you have any questions or need assistance, reach out to support@myquillo.com.
Great. So with that, I wanted to give you a couple of kind of behind the scenes things of what to expect as the portal administrators. The notifications will come in 3 different forms. Part of the reason that we set up this video for folks who are tech savvy, you're used to the push notification with other apps, know how they work. But in case that's a newer feature, we wanted to give people a heads up on how they work, knowing that it's going to be a little different phone to phone, but hopefully that's generic enough that folks are aware to just click it and go straight to the app rather than having to close a text message, open the app, hit play, that sort of thing. So again, the push notification is announcing the Daily Focus, which is 7 days a week. If you schedule your own Daily Focus, just like our current system, that'll override our message, but will still show up as the push. I'll show you in a moment how to schedule that on the portal itself. But the other 2 reasons that somebody might receive a push notification, there are 2 new triggers. So if you upload a brand new video that is urgent to get out for any reason, maybe there's an urgent announcement or you really want folks to see it, when you upload a video, and I can show you on the portal in a moment, and have it send a notification immediately, that notice will come out with a little blurb that says, important, check out this video. So I actually tested the important feature earlier this week and just grabbed a random video on our test site, not realizing that when it showed up, it would say, important, what color is your pee? Because it was the what color is your pee video. So probably not the one I would have picked on if it were an actually more urgent announcement, but it worked. So in any case, that's the second reason that the push notification would happen. The third reason is a way to help folks stay engaged in the app. If they have logged into the app for the first time, but haven't been active for a couple of weeks, the push notification will send a little notice to them after 2 weeks of inactivity, just saying, hey, how you doing? Here's the video that you're missing. We hope you come back to check the app. So if folks, you know, have been on vacation or just kind of got out of the habit, it's a way to kind of get that back in front of them. So, and those are the 3 reasons that you would receive a push notification. I'll show you briefly how to go about setting that. Again, this is for anybody with your portal admin access, so the content manager or the customer administrator will be able to do this. So from your dashboard, which you're probably familiar with, when you go to schedule your daily focus, it's just like the old version, right? You're going to select the date where you want to see your new notice. This is the video that Quillo has set for next Friday. But if you choose to schedule your own, you'll just click the schedule the video and then choose the video of your choice. And then your notification button, it still has the email and text option. So if for any reason you want to continue to send email and text notifications, you can do any combination of these 3. Quillo is recommending just the push. 1, because it's more user-friendly, and 2, because if you're selecting all 3 of those, the likelihood of somebody being really excited to get 3 notices all at once to go look at something might be a little overwhelming. So we recommend not doing all 3 at once, again, unless there's something urgent for any reason. But once you've picked your video, make sure it has the push notification as your selected method and hit schedule. Same system applies, that as long as your daily focus is scheduled before noon Eastern, it'll be the daily focus for that day. Anything after noon will send the updated daily focus even at 2 or 3 p.m., whatever time. So, any questions so far on these logistics? Yeah. Sue, did you have a question?
Yeah, Rebecca, there was a question in the chat, and it's asking if a user doesn't have the app, will they still get emails and texts?
That is a great question. Thank you, Sue, and for whoever asked that. The push notification applies to folks who have logged into the app. If they've never downloaded the app, there's no way for the message to get to the individual because it functions through the app itself. So if they've never logged in, that is something that would need to happen. So this is a good opportunity too, if you have folks who haven't had the chance to log into Quillo yet, to resend the info. The app, technically speaking, there was an update to the app in order to have the push notification feature. That should happen automatically. Most apps, and sort of the default setting is that the apps would update automatically. However, some folks opt to not let apps update on their own. So if you hear from folks that are or aren't getting the push notification, that might be part of it, is wanting to make sure that they have the updated app available. So other questions coming in so far?
That's the only one from the chat.
Okay, okay. So again, that's how you'll set it with
One more question just came in.
Go for it.
So the question is, yeah, in the welcome email to new users, it gives options to use on the desktop. Should we remove that language and encourage only app?
So even with the push notification, the desktop login is still an option for users. Even if they might receive it through like if you have a lot of desktop users only, maybe you do want to include the email and the push notification to reach folks, but the login for the desktop is the same process. So we'll probably want to update the welcome email template, the email, just to have a little more blurb about the push notification and take that out. So and that's a great example of some of the pieces. If there are other tools that you need or updates, resources as we roll this out, questions that we've missed, by all means let us know and we'll make sure that this is all updated. We'll be switching up our guide to success as well, and the different tools that we have to make sure this is reflected. similarly, the how-to playlist on YouTube that includes how to upload a daily focus has been updated with this information. So it isn't a video specific to the push because it's the exact same process as the daily focus, but it's now been updated with that information. And again, that link is was in the Quillo Minute from yesterday, and we can get it in the chat as well before the end of this call if you want to see that directly. So the other way that, again, a notice can go out is when you upload a video for the first time. So from your videos tab, when you upload a new video, let's pick this one. There's always this option to send the notification, but again, that will go immediately. So I wouldn't recommend that unless it's an urgent or something that you really want to get out, because it will come with that important and come at any hour of the day. So if you're a night owl and doing a late night update, it'll come out at midnight. So just make sure you're aware of when you're sending that out. So other questions on process or what it will mean for folks? Okay. If you run into any bumps over the next couple weeks as you're experiencing them, or if you're hearing from folks that they're not getting any notices, it might have to do with their phone settings, making sure that they're set up for push notifications. So there are a couple areas where we may hit some speed bumps, but just keep us posted with those, and we'll be right on top of following up. So yeah, Sue.
Yes, well, the question came through the chat, and this is a question regarding PowerPoint. And the question is, can you download PowerPoint videos? They were experiencing some problems and not being able to do that. So
I see that question from Joanna. Can I ask a follow-up question? Joanna, where were you trying to download from? Can I get a little more context?
Well, I did one regarding safety and cleaning and stuff like that. And I had David, my boss, download it, and he said he couldn't because it was a PowerPoint and it needed to be in a different format or something. So
it was a video that you created in a PowerPoint? It was a PowerPoint,
and it had, automated slide change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if
he's looking at how to export a PowerPoint as a video, is that the question? Awesome.
I think so, yeah.
Great. Yeah, there within a PowerPoint, there's actually, we can just pull it up with this one, and it's replaying the video. Just a moment. Are you seeing the screen with the PowerPoint, the edited version? So if you have a PowerPoint that's finished, when you go to File, Export, that gives you an option to export a PowerPoint as a video. So there's some follow-up tools on YouTube that I can send you right after this as well, and let you know if or you can let me know if there's something else that's missing. The video that I showed you, the rollout for the PowerPoint, or sorry, for the rollout for the push notification, was actually made in PowerPoint. So just an example of what can be done with moving and animations and whatnot. So not sure if that totally answered your question, Joanna.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because I want to do another one, but I just want to be able to download it.
Yeah.
But so then, because I just went on my computer and used that PowerPoint.
Okay.
So it'd be easier if I just went on to Quillo and used the Quillo PowerPoint.
Sure. Yeah, we do have the templates available on our resources tab. But I just dropped my email in the chat as well. If you want to drop me a note afterwards too, we can. I want to double check that I'm getting you the right info that you need to make it smooth.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions about the push notifications? Okay, well, starting on Saturday, assuming that you've logged into the app on your phone at least once and that the app is updated, you should get your little Quillo notice pop in. The first time I saw it, I got way too excited. So I hope it is a smooth process for everyone, and you enjoy the videos as they come in. So great.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Quillo has a new
That video really wants to play again. Sorry, it keeps playing by accident. So with that, we always like to take a quick moment during our Quillo Nations to take a breath together and share a moment for self-care. This year, all years, all the time, it's always so important. And so wanted to highlight a couple of videos that have been added to the app since we last spoke in July. I keep telling people I feel like 2020 is moving fast and slow all at once. So if you need a moment to catch your breath, this is a great time, a great way to do it. As always, within the app, under the search feature, you can search for a video and type in a keyword. We have a new series, a meditation series. Kisa created these beautiful visuals, plane going overhead, pardon me, here in the Twin Cities. Kisa had created these beautiful films of flowers and grasses, I think in her own backyard, if I'm remembering, just really gentle stuff. And we worked with Mad Hatter Wellness. They're a group here out of Minneapolis. If you're familiar with our Sexuality for All Abilities series, that's a subset of the Mad Hatter Wellness team. And they have some wonderful meditations, and they offered their texts. We've adapted those texts to 60-second versions. So check out those videos by entering meditation or meditate. They've also been updated recently, so they should be some of the first ones in your Take a Moment scene. And they're not just meditations for deep breath, they have specific focus. So stress management, a meditation for helping my community and sort of picturing the role that you fill in your community, a meditation on facing your fears, and then one for goal setting. So if you or anybody in your life, needs any of those moments or breaths, hopefully those are some calming videos for you. And I will turn it back over to Sue for wrapping up.
Thanks, Rebecca. Well, if you're like me, this year has been really focused on every day, here and now. And I have found this year to be a little more challenging, to look a little more forward. So we're telling you now to please mark your calendars, because in September, and we're only a couple weeks out here, there is the DSP Appreciation Week, which is September 14th through the 18th. So again, not sure what your organizations have planned for that week. However, it is usually a week where we do some special recognition for our direct support professionals. I know that one of the things that I enjoy doing, and I actually got it from last year's conversations we had with one of our Quillo Nation calls, I had my daughter write a thank you note to her direct support professionals that help her. And they were just all very appreciative of that, because some of them, I think, had forgotten that it's actually DSP Appreciation Week. So although we do hope that you're using Quillo every day, every month, all throughout the year to show appreciation and the value that those individuals show for those that they support, we do just want to recognize that during that week, we will have some special videos on Quillo to recognize the work that folks do. So again, if your group is going to have any plans, please share them with us. We'd love to hear a little bit more about what your teams are doing. So before we kind of wrap up and talk about our meeting in September, I just want to kind of circle back and really just kind of open it up and give you all an opportunity to share what good news is happening in your organizations. What's taking place? Do you have plans for the DSP Appreciation Week that you'd like to share? So please use the chat feature or turn on your mic, and let's just have a very quick, tell us a good story. Let us hear what's happening out there in the organizations that we need to recognize. Who has a story for us? I know some of you do, because I've spoken with you many times. Anybody? Sire?
I'm happy to share our good news. So we will, we've been doing throughout the pandemic, we've been doing some drive-through employee appreciation, drive through the parking lot and get a hot dog and, a thumbs up kind of thing. And so we have had another one on the books for tomorrow for about a month now. So we've got plans, we're lined out that we will be sending out as a part of that email Tomorrow being an Employee Appreciation Day, we're sending out the sign-up link for Quillo to all of our employees. We've been running it with managers for about 3 weeks now. And so we're excited about that, looking forward to it. It's interesting because we've relied heavily on email communication with employees throughout the pandemic. We're statewide. We've got 850 people spread out across the state, no facilities, no, everybody's under an individual roof kind of thing. And so we have just been email on steroids focused throughout this time. We send them a daily email and we repeat the same things often about safety precautions and things like that. But it has become something that all of our employees have started looking for images and icons, and they like cute little, memes about safety and washing your hands, and they've been sending those things in. And so I noticed that over the last probably week and a half, that the themes of those emails, they're sending them into our HR managers who are crafting those and putting those out. And over the last week and a half, there have been themes from the daily focus Quillo video that are showing up in those emails. So I just got one as I got on this call that was about what's broken. And so that was the theme of our daily email today. So somebody's paying attention, right? Somebody's looking and watching. So we're really excited about that. I also need to say, Rebecca, that What Color's Your Pee is my favorite Quillo video. And I tell people that often, and they look at me strange when I do. But I appreciate it so much as being not just an example of how Quillo supports DSPs, but really giving DSPs tangible tools to help them better support people that they serve. And so it's my favorite because of that. So I love that that's what you flagged.
Thanks. That's great.
Wonderful. Another one that people commented a lot is, how do your feet feel? We collaborated with Special Olympics, and after a 1-year study of Special Olympics at Special Olympics events with podiatrists across the country, they found that 50% of the athletes showing up at Special Olympics events were wearing the wrong size shoes. And the metric by the podiatrist was 2 sizes. So one size didn't count. Half the athletes, and it was interesting, almost exactly half had shoes that were too big by 2 sizes, half had shoes that were too small by 2 sizes. And we just were allowing people to put on shoes, or putting them on for them, that were the wrong size. And one of the universal reactions is people said, well, that couldn't happen here. And then when they went and checked, they found out, indeed, we weren't paying attention to what people were putting on your feet. And imagine having to wear shoes that were 2 sizes too small every day. It's just one of those things that begins talking about some things that opens people's eyes in some different ways. So very cool. Well, I'm glad you like the What Color Is Your Pee?
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I know someone else out there has some good stories to tell. Who else would like to share? Do we have anybody in the chat saying anything?
One of the things that's interesting was with a group of people, and we had to take turns just going around the room virtually. What is it, something good that we've learned through the pandemic that didn't exist before we got started? And once we broke through that, there were all kinds of interesting things that we've done better as we've learned about this. That, we didn't do the kind of staff appreciation visits before the pandemic in the way we're doing them now. And one of the things my friends at NADSP want to do is, their phrase is, how do we turn DSP Appreciation Week into all year long? And the friends at NAQ talking about, let's not forget our Qs and the middle managers and the folks that are doing so much along the way. And it's that culture of appreciation that extends throughout the organization. And of course, if you're part of Tarrant County MHMR, the appreciation you get is if if you win one of their big awards, you get to have Dave come over and wash your car for 3 weeks. So I thought that was a very good tangible award, right, Dave?
Well, yeah, but it's a little misleading. I mean, I do wash the car for 3 weeks, but it takes me 3 weeks to get it completed. Can't get out during that time.
Okay, well, great. Well, sharing those good news. So, Joanna, you raised your hand. Did you have something you want to jump in with?
Yes, just piggybacking on the statement you said about something that has started more since the pandemic. I would say our communication skills have vastly increased. The way that my team works together, I may not see them, but I let them know daily that I appreciate them. I still have my program manager meetings, and I just do it, I do it virtually. So then I can see them and laugh, and I always thank them for all the hard work, their support, and that we appreciate them. They might say I'm brown nosing, okay, fine, whatever. But you know what? It works, and everybody just, sometimes you just need that. And it's like, whatever. I was like, you miss me. But it's just to make somebody smile makes it worth it, because what they're doing is so important. So that's something I feel that has really improved, and just the closeness of us working together, just the teamwork has really increased, even though everybody's all over the place.
Yep. Well, and the stresses that we feel are the same stresses, and there's even more for our staff. And I don't think I've had a chance to tell Colleen, I took a support call from one of your staff at Ricci. Oh. And her husband had wiped her apps off her phone, supposedly the one she wasn't using, and Quillo was one of them, and she was upset with him for removing the Quillo app, and she was having trouble getting it back in. And she said to me, I really miss hearing from Colleen, because I can't open my app because I don't get to see her all the time anymore like we used to. So that idea that people really enjoy seeing you as leaders is very tangible. So I don't think it's cheesy at all to say thank you and extend that kind of appreciation to folks in ways that we do it. And we did a quick test with one organization that was thinking about Quillo, and we were doing a virtual piece, and we asked them, record just a 60-second thank you on your phone and email it to one of your staff that's done something really important, that you think really highly of. Who is one of your people that you haven't said thank you to? And in the midst of this meeting, we gave them just a minute, said, record something for 30 seconds and just email it to one of your staff. And this guy came up to me afterwards and said, I just got a call back from this staff person. I did it. And I got a call back from her, and she was nearly crying. And she said, I didn't even know you realized what I was doing. And here is somebody that he thought he was praising all the time. So it's just that need for affirmation is really strong, especially at a time right like now.
Yeah. I was going to say, I really appreciate these types of meetings, just because, particularly like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been just doing administrative stuff and have not had much communication with my staff. And it, hearing the different things that people are doing just reminds me I need to get back on and do some videos and do some connections, because it's just so easy to get caught up when you're working at home and trying to get into the office 1 or 2 days a week. We still have a lot of people working remotely. And it is hard to stay connected, and this Quillo allows us to do that. And so I appreciate these video chats and reminders to do good and to thank everyone and to stay that connected with everyone. So much appreciated.
Great. And in these moments, we talk about self-care in the meditation series. There's a number of moments that we talk about self-care, and we've all tried to practice it within our Quillo team as well, because it's really easy to get caught up. And there's some data out that we're actually working longer hours now working from home, because you don't have that break. And we've got to take care of ourselves. We've got to take care of each other as we get through this. And somebody asked me about what is it one of the number one things we've learned from this during this time, and I think is resiliency, that we've learned we can be resilient and we can support each other in becoming resilient to get through this together. And I think that's really very true. So on this call, we have folks from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Texas, Arkansas, earlier Pennsylvania, and Indiana. So thank you so much for all you do. And any last words before we talk to next month's call? Okay, Sue, why don't you talk about next month's call?
Yeah. So for our call in September, we decided to take a look at our top viewers. And what we did is we reached out to several of them and have asked them to join us either as part of a panel for the September 17th call. Again, depending on schedules, some can, some can't. And so we will be videotaping some of them, but we are asking them just the question around, tell us about your experience on Quillo. Why is it you go on? What is it that you value? And so I think it'll be a very interesting call because we're actually reaching out to the direct support professionals themselves. For many of you, they are individuals that are from your organizations. So we're excited to have them on our call, whether it's virtually on the video or live on the call that day. So mark your calendars now, September 17th at 2 p.m. We will be sending out probably next week the actual invitation. So please join us. We're really looking forward to hearing more from our top viewers. So with that, unless there's any other questions or comments, we will sign off for today and give you back a few moments. So thanks everyone for being on the call today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, and appreciate you for all you do for so many every day. Thank you. Take care.
Bye now.